G'day everyone, Gareth here from Organic Growing Melbourne. We've finally got some good weather. Well, when I mean good weather, I just mean the sun out. Yesterday was, I looked at the thermometer and I think it was like 7 or 8 degrees. It was shocking. It was wet, cold, windy. It has been that today as well, except the sun's come out now and it's warmed up, but it's still only about 15 degrees, maybe not even that. But I had to move a lot of the tropicals back under cover. I was a bit worried that they'd get damaged in this cold. These are the ones I've left down here. So this is my original black sapote. I think it's got enough canopy on it to protect it. I hope so. It hasn't dropped any of the fruit, as you can see. There's another one there. They're still holding on. There's a lot of little small ones as well that are starting to develop. They're actually starting to, I think, plump up a bit now. Now the weather's got warmer, except for the last couple of days, obviously. So we've got a couple of little small ones here. This is the biggest one here. I think they're all starting to sort of swell up again now. There's probably 5 or 6 on here that's probably going to hold on. The rests, you get all these ones that start to drop now. All these little ones that start to go a bit funny. There's a new flower just there, look. If I can get into that, there. But there's lots of flowers on it, but a lot of these are going to drop off. Then I'll start getting some new growth when the weather really starts to warm up. So looking forward to this one. Hopefully I'll get that to ripen up. Cross fingers. And then we've got the Jaboticaba here. This is the large Jaboticaba, as in the fruit being large, not the tree or the leaves. And we are seeing a little bit of new growth coming through, a little bit just down the bottom there. And then we move on to the large leaf Jaboticaba, and you can see all this is new growth here. All these new coloured ones here, all new growth since I've put them outside. And all these branches, all these sticks, they'll all come out with new growth. So that's done all right. With all this wind, I've been worried that we're going to lose a lot of the foliage from all these leaves blowing off, but it seems to be doing okay. And then we move on to the yellow variety Jaboticaba, and again, this has got a little bit of new growth on it. As you can see at the back here, there's some new leaves opening up here, and some down the back here. So this one's doing all right. I've deliberately kept them out, knowing that they're a little bit hardier than some of the other tropicals I've got. And hopefully they'll be all right. And then we move down to the lychee here. This is the one that pretty much died when it was delivered last summer. Still no evidence of anything growing from the base, crossing fingers. I'll still keep it there, I won't give up yet. And my avocado seedling, which when the weather really warms up, that's going to get grafted. I'm going to graft a couple of varieties on that and see how we go. This is my cherimoya, although it doesn't look too good. This will definitely handle our weather down here in Melbourne and the cold weather. You can see a little bit of new growth coming out of here as well. This will have to be pruned off, this bit. But doing okay. Along with the lychee here, this is the lychee that was delivered with the dead one. This didn't seem to worry about the heat, and I'm getting little bits of growth, as you can see, just tiny bits, sort of everywhere you go there, and then up the top here you can see in here there's some new growth here. So this is doing all right out here. I've deliberately left this out as well. It is frost sensitive, although we didn't get frost. we did get really cold winds. Really cold winds. We got the ice cream bean here, which is it's just sending out heaps of new growth, but the leaves all started going this rusty colour and started falling off. The leaves have actually, a lot of leaves have actually gone. I'm not 100% sure why, but I'll have to look into this one. I want to try and get this. I want to try and get this one looking half decent again. See, all the leaves are getting this rust colour on it. There's that wind again. And then we got behind here, we've got the Davidson's plum, which is doing okay. This does not like frost either. As you can see, huge amount of growth. And then of course we got the mulberry. Which this will be alright out now. See all the mulberries on it. I can't wait for these to ripen up. And she's doing okay. This will just pump out new growth now for months. Now we gotta go. Here's the avocados. Have a look at these. Have a look at that. Now I know this is quite a young avocado, and I had a comment about trimming the flowers off the avocados to encourage root growth. But I did that last year, and what happened is I encouraged it to grow even more. It brought out a whole new bunch of flowers. This particular avocado, it was the bacon. So not only was it growing the flower buds, I pruned it and encouraged it to grow more. So although you would normally do that, this year I'm going to wait until all these flowers have pretty much developed, and then I'm going to cut these out, because this time of year it's going to encourage this new growth anyway. All this new growth now coming out in between the flowers, it's going to encourage all that now anyway. So if I prune it, I might not get the flowers back, but it's just going to encourage more growth. So although they suggest to do it, from my experience, I think it's best to leave the flowers on, let it do its thing, and then when they finish flowering, because it's not going to set fruit, it will all these will start falling off. In fact, if you can see, I'm shaking it, and all the flowers are falling off. See, so they're all going to fall off anyway. And then once it's done that, then it will go into growing and expanding the root system. But like I said, you start pruning it, you're encouraging it to grow more. And same with the Pinkerton here. You can see the new growth is starting to come out anyway. So even if I take the flowers off, it's spending energy growing these. And so I can't cut them off, because I encourage multiple growth, and then you're not going to get any growth in the roots at all. That's from my experience in Melbourne, Australia. I know because I did it with this one, and it took me 10 years for it to fruit. And then obviously another year for the fruit to ripen. And you can see this is all coming into flower again. You can see all the flower buds all starting to develop. They get heaps bigger than this too. Oh shit, excuse the language, I just trod on a chicken. And now we've got birds in the chicken coop. See here? He's going to try and get out. Come on, out you get. They're not the smartest birds. He'll find the door in a minute. Come on, keep on going. Other way. I'll try and get him. There he goes. He's safe now. Alright, so this is the Fuerte. We didn't get any flowers, but as you can see, it's now right into growth mode now. This is going to grow heaps. I'll keep tabs on this, because before you know it, I'm going to have to cut this roof out, and then I'll put another fence around here so the chickens can't get in, can't get out, and the foxes can't get in. But as you can see, we're getting a huge amount of growth out of the Fuerte now. The Fuerte, sorry. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's funny, isn't it? This is 5 foot tall, no flowers at all. Yet the bacon and the Pinkerton, which are about 2 foot, are just bursting in flowers. So this is my apple, which is coming into almost full bloom. There's a few still to open up, as you can see. This is the Pink Lady. We might get a couple of apples off that. Who knows? The banana, which is starting to send out some new growth now. That's the ladyfinger variety. And then, oh God, chickens are all under my feet. And now we've got, this is the cherry, the Stella, I believe, I can't remember. Yeah, the Stella. And I can see evidence of possible cherries this year off this one, which is quite surprising because this is its second winter. So this will be going into pretty much its first. Well, it flowered last year because I put it in last winter, so it flowered last season. Gone through another winter, and now we're into spring again, and we might get some fruit off this one this year. Just looking at these ones that have already flowered, might have germinated some cherries here. I mean, look, if you take this flower off here, that's definitely a cherry there, which is unusual because my other cherry, which I'll get to, hasn't given me any fruit yet, and that's about 5 years old. And that one's I've had for not even 2 years. So here's one of my pear trees. There we go. And again, this is its first season that we may get fruit. It might be a bit small, might need another year, but it's got a lot of flower buds on it, as you can see. Hopefully we get some fruit off that one. This is my late season nectarine, and it has not even come out of dormancy yet. You'd normally harvest fruit off this in about, when is it? February, I think. February, March, I can't remember. But as you can see, nothing is even budging here. This is actually a white flesh nectarine. This is actually, this particular nectarine here, just a gold mine, it's more tolerant to leaf curl, where this particular variety here, the yellow flesh, the difference between this, obviously apart from the flesh, is the stone in this fruit is attached to the flesh, where this one, when you eat this one, the seed actually is almost separate from the flesh, so it's really easy to eat. Really easy to eat this one, if it ever comes out of dormancy. And then we go over to, this is the other pear tree here. I'll just get out of this chicken run. Oh, I just kicked another chicken, sorry buddy. Just get under your feet all the time. And this is the other pear tree to cross-pollinate with the other variety I have over here, but I can't remember this variety. Tag's blown away. And this one's only got the one flower bud at the moment, so we probably won't get any fruit off these. And it's just sort of starting to come out. Seems to be a bit later, this one. All right, we'll go over to the orange, because I know I've just done a video on the citrus, but you'll be amazed on what difference there is between just a few days makes this time of year. Oh, you know what I forgot? I've got my carambola underneath the avocado tree. I've been doing a bit of studying on the carambola, and found that they actually prefer shade. They will actually prefer, if you put these in direct sun in the heat, they'll probably shrivel up and die, or at least get really sick and put you back a few years. So I've decided to put it under here this year, and we'll see how we go. And if you remember, my Panama berry, which was doing pretty bad inside, and as you can see, even under the avocado tree, from the protection of most elements, it's not looking good. Cross fingers that it'll come back. And under the avocado tree, we're about 10, probably about 14 degrees under the avocado tree. And again, coming into flower here, you can see there's some, so every time I come out here, it just looks different. Up the top there's just flowers everywhere. And then the orange tree, which again, not many flowers, but there are some. It's looking pretty good. Not much to report on it. But here's the other nectarine. And yep, all the flowers are gone now. All the flowers are gone. I did end up getting a little bit of leaf curl, mainly up the top. But I've actually managed to control it quite well this year compared to last year, which was probably double this. A year before was even worse. It pretty much dropped every single leaf. But happy to say, we're getting fruit. There's definitely fruit that's germinated. When you can see all these old flowers have nectarines in them. I'll see if I can find at least a decent one to show you. Sun's in my eyes, I can't see. Sun, who would have thought we'd have had sun today? But if we go, here we go, there's a nice nectarine coming out. Now there'll be a little bunch of 2 there, you can see. Another bunch, a few just there, look. They're coming along. We'll get a fair bit this season. It's hard to see now because you lose the flowers and then everything goes green. Even this, you can see these beautiful example right here. Look at that. Am I getting that in camera? I don't know. Look at that. Beautiful. And I can even see some bigger ones up the top there. I don't know whether you can see that. And of course the plum, which is going to be, there'll be so many plums here. I reckon I'll have to thin this out. Just the whole, you just look up the whole branch and it's just covered in plums. Look, from all the way down the bottom here. All this branch. See all here. There's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of plums on this tree. See, on there. See? It's going to get really heavy, this branch, quite long, so it might hang right down, risk breaking down the bottom here. So this might have to get thinned out 50%. And here's the cherry. This is the cherry tree that's been in for about 5 or 6 years and I haven't had any fruit yet and still hardly any flowers on it. Although looking inside the flowers, there may be evidence of some cherry development in there, look, cross fingers. And then this is the other apple, which is quite old as well. We've been getting fruit off this for several years. It's just never grown that high. It's been in about 3 different locations. And over on that fence over there, I had 3 fruit trees growing along that fence and none of them did any good over there. I'm not too sure why. But I know the neighbour's got a pool filter about there. And if it's ever leaked and put chlorine or anything or salt or whatever he uses, I think that could be a pretty good reason why the fruit trees didn't do very good over there. So I've moved them over and they seem to have done a lot better. And as you can see, we'll get heaps of apples off it. And it's not a dwarf, this, and I can't remember the variety. But there's lots of flower buds all coming up. These are one of the apples, one of the last ones that bloom, as you can see, in the cherries and the pears. And then good news with the kiwi fruit up here. So this is the male kiwi. It's always a little bit more behind than the female, but already we have flower buds. Now that's exciting. This one's a young female, so that's not going to have any flowers on it this year. It'll be a couple more years before that gets flowers. But again, here's the male, and as you can see, flower buds. There's even little flower buds in amongst that one. In there, and then this one here. It's got a couple of flower buds growing there, and this one as well. These are a few years old now. I bought these a little bit mature actually. They were probably already about 3 years old, so 5 years, I reckon. And they've all started developing a lot earlier this season because the start of the season was so good and warm. As you can see, beautiful growth. All right, hibiscus are all waking up, starting to develop some flower buds. They're not all looking that crash hot, especially this one. Very yellow. We've got some flowers. We've even had some open up. Look, this is the second one that's opened as well. See the other one down here. I've got some more at the front as well. And then over to little seedlings here, the avocado seedlings. So one of my other videos, I was showing you these ones that were just stems. And I said they'll grow back, so you can see the new growth coming off these now. This one even more so. This one. And all these seedlings I grew from supermarket seeds, and they'll all be used to graft my varieties too. And these are mango seedlings from last season. And over here, these are the ones I bought in just for a little bit of protection. None of these have actually had any protection anyway. They were, we had some in the greenhouse, this little greenhouse. You can see some in here now. I've put the cherimoya, not the cherimoya, the Rollinia, which I showed you was doing so well. And I bought it, I took it outside. Something started eating it. Well, I found some snails on it. All these new leaves are now dead. Still got some new growth on it. But it got really damaged in the week I put it out, and same with the dragon fruit. Although there's some new growth, these were inside, so they've only just recently come out. So I'll keep these in the greenhouse until we get a bit warmer. There's no heating now, just in the greenhouse. The heater kept it about 5 degrees warmer than the outside temperature. So, and you can see in there it's 15, 16 degrees in there. Here's a dragon fruit trellis I built, did a video on that. So this is the custard apple, and again, not doing good at all. It's been beaten around a bit. There's still some new growth, as you can see here. And that's the miracle berry, or miracle fruit. And we're getting tiny, tiny bits of new growth, extremely slow growing. I can't imagine seeing any fruit on that for years. And then the soursop went outside, and as you can see, within a week, we got some real harsh damage. It's lost a few leaves. I haven't seen any new growth on it yet. And same with this one, the two different varieties of soursop. There's one, and there's the other. And the two younger black sapote, which I've bought under for a little bit of protection. I'm not too sure how they'll go. Getting wind blown, and there's a bit of new growth though, you can see here. In fact, there's a couple of new flowers coming up there. I didn't even notice them. 3 of them. Might be some more on some other branches as well, maybe. That's a good sign. There you go, it's developing something. That's good news, good news. And then the dragon fruit, still haven't had any flowers off this yet. This will be its 3rd year, 4th year I've had this one, I think. But I bought this one already with, you can see where it's been pruned there, just there, and I think this one here is how I bought it, so it was that big. All that stuff on the top is the new growth since I've had it. And I've pruned it too, because it got rust. All right, so there's a bit of an update on the backyard. Yacon, I did a video, that's the last video I've done, the Yacon. Put them in their garden beds now. We'll see how they go. So here we go with some more bananas here, and you can see this is all new growth this year. There's a new one coming out of here. Probably going to get damaged from the wind, as you can see. But it's all getting new growth now. This one's new, all that damage up the top, it's still new. All this is new this year. So they're chugging along, all the green waste. If you want to get bananas growing in Melbourne, you really want to be feeding them like this. So this is, we've got grass clippings here, but not only that, all the food scraps as well go in here, as you can see. Just anything to feed them. They love it. Absolutely love it. This is the other plum. This is a blood plum, and this is all starting to develop a heap of fruit. Not as much as the other one. It's not as old, this one, but you can see it's still going to be quite heavy, and you see all the fruit that's actually developing on it. Not so much up the top. There's some little ones up here, but again, this will be the first year actually I've had fruit on this one. But this is only, I think I've only had it in the ground for 2 years. This hibiscus, which was looking really bad, I pruned right back. It should come back, I hope. The Tamarillo, this is a red variety. As you can see, we're getting a lot of flower growth in here too. So looking forward to that one. That'll be its first year as well. And then the other hibiscus cut right back as well. Elephant ear doing really well. I'm trying to grow this into a tree. Beautiful new growth here. Some more coming out here and here. And as you can see, it'll all start shooting out the sides. And what I do is I just cut them all off and just keep the main trunk to try and get a tree. Otherwise, these can go nuts. All right, and then we have the other oh, I'm sinking in mud. This is how much rain we've had, look. Shocking. All right, this is the other Tamarillo as well, and I've noticed this is starting to develop some flowers, I think. I'm sure, yeah, just in there, some small ones just in there. We may see some off this one as well. Bought them at the same time. The ginger, which is all this new growth coming up here. There's, as you can see under there. So they like this position, so they're going to definitely stay there. I might spread them out under some of the other trees, see how they go. Potatoes, I love my potatoes. I've got 5 or 6 different varieties this year, all planted at different stages. As you can see, some that have just decided to come through now, to some that have already quite established. I didn't show you the one at the back here. I'll go back and show you those ones. This particular one's already flowering. We've almost finished all our spinach. The beetroot's still growing, and I've now put this makeshift, actually not makeshift, this trellis up. I'm going to grow my cucumber up this year. We've been devouring the lettuce. Again, I use this to feed the chickens as well. So I break these older ones off, and then we eat the middle part here. Nice and juicy and tender piece. That one there's a nice one. And the cauliflower and broccoli not ready yet. I don't even know if there's any heads growing yet. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Nah, nothing growing yet. And the asparagus, a bit disappointed actually that I didn't get more growing. Although what I am happy to see is one of my existing asparagus has actually decided to, you can see the crown here, has actually decided to bring out one, and there's another one here. So that's an old variety that I used to have up at the top. It's getting more sun out here now. but one hasn't taken here, another one hasn't taken in this row, another one hasn't taken in this row. So I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 come up out of 13, 14, 15, 16, out of 17. All right, gee, I've missed a bit. I better take you back out here, because these are the ones that I've planted just recently this season in the ground. So this is the Dwarf Red Chatoot Mulberry. I've done a video on that as well. This is the one that the piece of wood fell down and broke the back branch off, which is that one there. But it's still looking good. Still going to get a heap of fruit off it, as you can see. Looking really good. Some of these are huge. Can't wait. And then this is the Grammy Chumma, the black Grammy Chumma. We're getting a fair bit of new growth out of this. You can see all these new growth buds here. And this is since we've been outside. There was a few, these were growing before I put them in the ground, but they've just got a little bit bigger. And it's doing all right. This is a medium frost sensitivity, I believe. Better check that. Yes, medium. So it should be okay. Maybe next year if we get some harsh frost, I'll protect it. I bought a few cheap Bunnings umbrellas, which I can attach to the fence if I need to, just to protect. I used it to protect the avocado last season, the Fuerte in the chicken coop. And then we've got the Brazilian cherry right there. And this was looking a lot better before I put that in the ground. I can see a bit of leaf discoloration here, a bit of dieback on a leaf. But I can see some tiny growth coming out the top here. And this is another medium frost sensitivity, but being a bit younger and the leaves seem to be a bit more delicate than the Grammy Chumma. Probably at this size is a bit risky, but it's not dying. The Dwarf Almond, which is the new member of the family. We won't get any nuts off it this year for sure, but definitely doing okay. Something eating it, but I'll look more into that when I'm not filming. Giant bamboo in a pot. That's a division from the giant bamboo that I've got in the ground here. As you can see, that's not going to do much for a while. The weather's really got to get really warm. It'll always send out new side growth. Oh, you can see they've actually grown quite a bit now. Last season's ones, didn't think they'd get to that big. I didn't think they'd make it because it was such a late season last year. And you can see the new side growth that comes out of these newer shoots. These are the ones that were attacked by the cockies. You can see they were just taken off at the top. So it just sends out new side growth. They're all starting to get new side growth now as well. All right. We'll just head out the front. All right, out the front now. So I think last time I filmed out the front here, there was only the one mango. I've actually now planted the big one in the ground. I'm a bit worried because we've had some horrible weather, but I think this doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all, actually. And then this one here, which I did a video on tipping mangoes, this has obviously already been done. And I can see there's some new growth coming out of parts of the mango here, there and there. You can see that's all swollen up the top here. They're all starting to come out now. I'm actually quite surprised how hardy mangoes are down here in Melbourne. You can see here, there's a bit of growth coming out here. So I'm pretty happy. You can see even here, there's some bit of growth coming out here. And then the blueberry, the other mangoes here, which have all been tipped, you can see swelling in there. So that'll all be new growth. The blueberries, they're still doing pretty good. As you can see, these are all blueberries now, ready to ripen up, and some still haven't even opened flowering yet. But we'll get a few off it this year, as you can see. All at different sort of stages. You just got to beat the birds. I don't know what happened to this mango. I bought all these pots out And for some reason, this one has just gone backwards. But you can see these ones are okay. And then you can see the mandarin here. Flowers are now opening. So we're going to get some mandarins off that this year, along with this one. This one's going to be a bumper crop. Bumper. Look at all those flowers. And the pomelo, which is, I have actually seen evidence of some flowers developing now. There it is, there's one right there. Start, you see that there? And there'll be more, there'll be more. Buddha belly, this is the giant Buddha belly. And that one's about a 6 metre bamboo. Still haven't developed any new cane since I bought it. This will be its second season. And the more blueberries. What has really interested me is the Jaboticaba. This is my oldest one. But the amount of growth, all that pale stuff is new growth. All this. Not the stick, just all the pale leaves. So that's going really well this year. And the smaller one as well, you can see the new growth. Look at that. So happy they're liking that position, obviously. The jujube has decided to wake up, and you can see all the new growth coming out of here, all the way up to the ends as well, which is good. More hibiscus. I've pruned all these as well. They reckon you shouldn't prune it for the first 3 years. No, not me. I like to control mine. Another one there. We've got the shampoo ginger planted under there. I actually just separated a bit. I dug it up and separated a bit, put one in a pot. Just a tiny piece about that big. See how that goes this year. The apricot, we won't get fruit. That was a rescue. But you can see all the new growth, looking really healthy, despite the really bad damaged, infected area there, which was being eaten by termites or something. The blood orange, nice new growth. Another rescue. We won't see fruit off this for a couple of years, I'd say, but looking really good. Happy with the longan. All this new growth coming out of the. So each year when the flower stem comes up, which will be here, comes out the sort of the top of every branch, like this one for example. After every season, when that's finished flowering or fruiting, hopefully we'll get fruit this year. So you harvest it, you actually trim it right back. What's that in there? That was some sort of parasite. I'll have to have a look at this closely, I think, because I just found some sort of parasite in between there. I'll have another hard look at this when I finish the video. But it's still doing pretty good. And then the white sapote, which is developing a lot of fruit this year. And the older this gets, the more fruit this is gonna develop. Even up the top here, you can see there was nothing up here last time I filmed this. Now it's all flowered and already started to develop fruit. Some of them will fall off. Even all this new growth, look, not necessarily flower, but all new growth as well. Look at this bit here, it's crazy. All right, so there's the end of September update. And I'll do a few more because this time of year, it changes a lot. All right, thanks for watching everyone. Take care, we'll see you next time, bye.